So it's the next morning after extensive research on the internet.
I'm Megan, and this is my husband, Beau, and our daughter, Beckett. Join us on our journey as we relocate our family to raw land in beautiful northeastern Washington. Watch as we start from scratch and build the life we desire. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Another one. Follow me, Mom.
Back on the gas pipe. So my plan was to turn it back this way and run down this floor joist opening, and then come, I don't know if you can tell where I'm at, but so we'd come down the floor joist and then 90 down, go down there, and then we could 90 over and hook it up. Wasn't really thinking about it because this boiler's 7 feet in the air and I couldn't see the top, and I've never hooked one up, but the venting has to come up, both intake and exhaust, up and out. And since we have a solid glue lam for a header, we can't punch through there, so I'm going to go up through the floor joists, out through the top, or out through above this floor system, just out through the side. So anyways, back to the piping. Since we can't come down this way, we'll just rotate this a little more, punch it through this floor joist, and it'll run up in this cavity, over, and then down. So glad I caught that before I started running a bunch of pipe, but we'll set you up here and get after it. It could be the dullest hole saw on earth. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to turn this, run it over and down, but I'm going to put a 90. Yeah, I'm going to put a 90 on this horizontal first. So we'll come down and do that real quick. I should really put a light in this room. I bought it. It's actually 5 feet behind me in the box. But when there's just two of you, kind of got to pick your battles. And right now we were everything we can to get the camper inside, get dried in before winter's really here. Yeah. Somewhere in there. Let's dry fit this. Make sure I don't mess up and have a goopy pipe. Okay, we can make that work. I do not know the proper amount, so I'm going to use it liberally. Keep it back from the edge so there's less chance of it getting into the gas line. Wipe off any excess. The trick will be tightening this. Yeah. Not sure you would have did this without top access. I don't think I'm getting a full turn on that baby either. So, remember how I said you should never back it off once you've tightened it? Well, I've over tightened this a little. So, I'm going to try to grab a hold of the 90 and see if it has any left in it. Try to make one more full turn. Got her. Wasn't fun, but we got her. Megan's over here unloading more of our stuff. We've been living in a camper for 2 years, and we finally broke into our storage connex. Try to find some of our work winter gear that I had packed away, and when doing so, found a bunch of shit we don't need. Alright, it's a disaster in here, but we're sick of working in the dark, So I figured I'd rig up the first light of the house, and we'll let Beckett turn it on first. You ready? Okay. Come here, let Daddy pick you up. Okay. Push the button. We got lights! First light of the house! Good job, you did it! Give me 5. Boom. Love you. Sweet. I mean, it's
Thank you.
silly, but first light, you know, you're making progress. It's gonna make finishing this much easier. I've been working off of floodlights and flashlights and charging batteries, and first light. Big milestone, big step. Oh, Beckett! 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 So I've been cutting them just to get them closer and almost to where it needs to be. And then you can push them up and down to try to keep your spacing the same, if that makes sense. So if I didn't push this one down a little, it would have been at a straight line here. So I've just been pushing them down, trying to get spacing to look nice. It's probably not, it's not critical, but if you do something, you might as well do it nicely. Mark it, make your final cut. Sometimes you gotta pull it back out to cut it. Put your ferrule on. Just put your lock nut or your, not sure what that's called. I think it's just a nut and your ferrule. Pulley back up in there. Figured we'd do a leak test. If they're leaking, tighten them. Tight is good, too tight's broke. When you're cutting it to rough size too, let's say like this is the exact size it's going to be. Hi. Don't give yourself like that much room.
Me?
No, I'm just talking to them. Because if you need to cut like an 1/8 inch off, it sucks. So leave yourself an inch so you can cut back here. I mean, you can cut minuscule amounts off. That's hard to get it square. So if you can get at least 1/2 inch, then you can get a nice square cut in there.
What are you doing?
Hooking up our heating.
Can I? Here's one of these.
What is it?
These.
Yeah, you can have it. Take 2.
Okay. Very good, Daddy. You can save this for me.
Oh, what is it?
Ball.
Nice ball.
Woo! Good job, Dad! I like it! Woo woo! Look at that! Are you gonna try to do these ones stuff?
Nah.
Hey.
I think I could probably do.
Yeah.
Or at least the
No.
first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty well done.
I mean, this one needs to go there.
Looks awesome though.
I know.
That's so cool. Nice work. Oh.
Hopefully we can get gas done tomorrow.
What size pipe did you need?
I needed a 48 inch. I don't know how the heck I missed it. Finished product. I've got one. See this one? This one's probably like an 1/8 inch too long. And I might, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't do anything effectively. I mean, it doesn't affect it at all, but I'm just gonna probably lose sleep over that pipe right there. Anyways, we'll get these hooked up next. Due to how I brought it in and not really knowing what I was doing, we're probably gonna have to use a couple fittings here. Come over, hit this one. This stuff is fairly flexible, but not extremely so. And then there's no way these are coming over and hitting either. So this one needs to hit that one. This one goes up to the valve. So I'll probably just get some PEX A fittings, move them up and over. The good thing about PEX A is it expands it. PEX A actually expands, and then you don't lose flow, whereas in PEX B or these crimp styles, you do lose quite a bit of flow just because the fittings are smaller than the ID of the pipe. So I think we'll probably wrap it up here tonight. Got a light on, got our main heat hooked up. Literally I could, if I had gas, we could heat the shop right now. These extra lines I was just showing you go out into the house portion, which the ceiling is still not in it. So the walls are spray foam, but the ceiling's not in it, so there's no blow-in insulation on the top. So what I'm getting at is we could heat the shop, not have to heat the house because the heat's going to go up the roof anyways, or out the roof. One interesting thing though, I was talking to the guy about that, specifically the guy being the designer, and he says one thing about radiant heat versus like forced air is you don't lose all the heat like you would think. It actually stays within like 8 to 10 feet above deck level. He says that's why it's really popular in airplane hangars and large bay shops, because you're not heating all that airspace necessarily, you're heating the space you use. So I still would assume we're going to lose quite a bit of heat up out the vent or out the ridge vent, but maybe it's not as much as I think. So if I can't get these Uponor fittings in a timely manner by the time I get back, we may start by firing up just zone 1, or excuse me, I think it's thermostat 4, so zone 4, which is the shop only. Again, that's basically all we need right now, so we'll see. Need one more piece of gas pipe. I had an interesting conversation with the guy at Home Depot today. I may be too small on my gas feed line to the boiler. The only reason I don't think that's an issue is if you see this, the boiler's pipe itself is 1/2 inch. So unless it's a flow reason, like you have to run 3/4 to within a foot of it and then 1/2 inch inside of it's fine. I don't know. I already have this ran. We're gonna fire it up, see if it works. If I have to upsize the 3/4, it's not an issue. We'll get a different bell reducer here. We'll just step it down to 3/4 versus to 1/2, and I'll run this 15 feet of pipe again or whatever. But I figured I'm this far, I might as well try it. If it doesn't work, we'll do it again. I think that's where I'm gonna sign off for tonight. We'll pick you guys up in the morning. It's the small wins. Small wins in life that are killer. Lights with the push of a button. So it's the next morning after extensive research on the internet, almost impossible to find information. I read the manual that came with the boiler, and it says it gives you a BTU calculator off of size of gas line, taking into assumption that the gas company pressure and flow or whatever, I guess it's just pressure, is typical, which I believe it's about the same across the country. Anyways, if I would have read that little installation booklet prior to installing this pipe, I would have known that I needed 3/4 pipe. So we figured, let's just get it in, get it right. We're getting inspected Tuesday, and after then, I don't want to run the risk of having the tubing filled with water and then have to shut the system down because our gas line's too small, run the risk of possibly freezing anything. So for $200 we went and grabbed all new 3/4 inch pipe. It should go fairly quick since I already had everything measured out from the 1/2 inch. Bought the same exact fitting, same exact length of pipe and nipples. So we're going to start putting that together now. Just as a, I guess, tip or information that gives you, have Megan put a little blip of the calculator in here, but basically 1/2 inch pipe will take you up to 130,000, I believe, BTUs per hour with using 100 feet of pipe, I believe. So 1/2 inch pipe up to 100 feet can sustain or supply 130,000-ish BTUs. This is 199,000, call it 200,000 BTU boiler. Obviously we're 70,000 BTUs shy of that with the 1/2 inch. So I thought it was weird that it necks down to half right here, but the more I got to thinking about it, if you look at the top of this, it's basically a turbo. So maybe it's pulling gas, actually putting a vacuum on the gas line here. So maybe it's using more than a typical 1/2 inch could supply. But anyways, I guess don't make assumptions as usual. Read your instructions, and I probably would have saved myself about 2 hours worth of work, but we'll get it turned around, not a big deal, and we should be done here in an hour or so. Wasn't very long.
You can't push her in the snow, it's too heavy.
So last night I was struggling working over this. Forgot that we have a scissor lift at our disposal that we are paying for. So might as well use it. A little more. Okay. Perfect. Thanks, Mama. Hat's coming off. It's getting hot. Okay. Boom. Went way faster. Finally got her all done. Back up, over, back down. Put that drip leg in there like I was telling you before. Got a valve for appliance shut off. And then put her under pressure. Only took about, I don't know, an hour to repipe. Like I said, it was quick because I already knew my routing, knew all my measurements, or the measurements of the pipe I needed. The only thing we're lacking is I want to put a nipple and a cap on here. Obviously this is where the rest of the house is going to tie in, but I don't want to leave this open after we get gas on, because if somebody comes by and hits it, you know, they're dumping gas into the house. So we'll probably end up going from here, diving back into the studs, and out and around. But I figured I'd give you an update. Pulled out the 1/2 inch, put in 3/4. I'm gonna drop an outlet right in here for both the boiler and the valve controller, and that should be about wrapped up until we get gas.
Lord. Okay. It's kind of terrifying watching him drill holes through the siding.